Hi all, I'm Kriti Agarwal and you're watching Chili and Vanilla by Chef Kriti, where I bring to you tried and tested recipes of desserts, pastries and cakes along with the North Indian traditional specialty dishes. In this video, we are going to make Italian Meringue Buttercream, layer our last part's cake, the chocolate cake you remember, in the same buttercream, and do stenciling too. But why Italian Meringue Buttercream? There are many reasons for the same. It's not cloyingly sweet, it just melts in your mouth. It has the richness of butter and the lightness of a meringue. It is strong enough to make designs and yet it still melts in your mouth. It is stable at much higher temperatures for a longer duration of time. I know it never forms a crust, so I don't see any reason to not like this buttercream. Let's get started. We need to take room temperature egg whites in a stand mixer and start on low, increasing the speed to medium until they start foaming. Parallelly, we take sugar and water in a pan and heat the mixture until it reaches 118 degrees Celsius. We do need a thermometer for the same. When the mixture reaches the said temperature, increase the mixer speed to highest and start pouring the syrup in a slow and steady stream without touching the whisk as well as the mixing bowl sides. Keep running the mixer on the highest speed until the foamed egg whites reach the room temperature and the mixing bowl is no longer warm or hot. अगर आपके पास स्टैंड मिक्सर नहीं है तो आप हैंड मिक्सर भी यूज़ कर सकते हैं. Only thing to remember is syrup should pour in the egg whites directly and not touch the whisk or the bowl sides. नहीं तो whisk की वजह से syrup फैल जाएगा या फिर bowl sides पर जम जाएगा. When egg whites reach room temperature, start adding room temperature butter little by little by running the mixer at its highest. Keep scraping the bowl in between, making sure there are no unmixed batches. Meanwhile, also add a good pinch of salt and vanilla to enhance the flavor. We whip the mixture at high until it's very light, fluffy and homogeneous. In the end, you will see some air pockets, which will go away by using a spatula or a paddle attachment. Do you remember the chilled chocolate cake we prepared in part 1? Yes. Take that out and start crumb coating it with this buttercream. But make sure we start defining the sharp edges from this stage only. तो अगर आप देखोगे यहाँ पर I'm placing the cream on the corners and also making sure that it stays in its place in such a way that we have sharp edges to the cake. It is a rectangular cake, it will not be the same as a round cake. So if you see here, I am defining the edges cleanly from this stage only. After the crumb coat, we chill the cake again so that we can do the final coating of the buttercream. Now here comes the chilled cake that's ready for the final coat. Again, I cover it in buttercream, defining the edges as much as possible, and then I use a pastry brush, जो कि मुझे अपने घर के पास में एक local store पर ही मिला था, and I use that as a dedicated pastry brush, and I use that brush to run along the sides of the cake. Remember, I'm going to make this cake look like a notebook. तो इस brush से sides पर pages का look आएगा. See, you see that I am running it along the sides of the cake, also making sure कि उसके edges sharp रहें. And with the brush it was even more easier to do. So I have included as much part of the video as possible here without cutting off many portions so that आप देख सको कि किस तरह से केक को कवर करा जाता है, किस तरह से आप उसको पैलेट नाइफ से स्मूथ करते हो एंड आप उसमें किस तरह से बुक का लुक दे सकते हो. Now I wanted my notebook cover to be a different color than white, so I colored a small batch of buttercream to peach and I just use it on the top layer. And this is how you fill the piping bag and layer the top of the cake with this, making it smooth. And once you are happy, this cake now goes into the freezer until firm and ready for stenciling. You see, when you dip palette knife in hot water, it's easier to smoothen the buttercream. अब ये केक फ्रीज़र में जाने के लिए रेडी है ताकि ये फर्म हो जाए and is ready for stenciling. Coming to stenciling, it's very simple. Place any stencil on a firm cake, apply buttercream and smoothen as much as you can. I did spill a bit on the sides which I will clean afterwards. But the cake has to be firm so that when you pull out the stencil, it doesn't affect the base buttercream. Or stencil could be any design. I purchased a set of stencils from Amazon and you can find the same too. So our notebook looking cake is ready. It goes into the refrigerator until we get our buttercream cartoons ready. Hope you liked the video. Stay tuned for the next part. And if you would like to get notified when I post the video next, do subscribe. Until then, goodbye.